I don't know about the date, but I mean, it could be that maybe it wasn't his skin color, maybe he was just handsome.
Oh no, he's
And the
handsome.
lady-
Yes,
he's
he's
handsome.
handsome. Yes, he's blonde and everything.
So you could say-
But I swear to you, because of his race, those ladies never treated me like that. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. I'm Nicole and yes, warm welcome to this channel. Joining me in this video is Tony. Tony is my friend. Hi Tony.
Hello.
So today we're going to, as you saw by the title, we're going to talk about white privilege versus black privilege. All started when I was having a conversation with Tony, and then I mentioned about white privilege and he went blank. Apparently he couldn't see white privilege, and I was like, what? You have a lot of privilege. I am so shocked that you can't acknowledge them and appreciate them. Then I decided that we will shoot a video on white privilege versus black, and also we will also shoot a video on black privilege versus white, because black folks also tend to struggle to see the privilege because the eyes are always, you know, directed to white privilege that is apparently very frequent. And yeah, so black folks, African people or black people can also see their privileges and start appreciating them, because the objective of this video is to get every single race that I'm trying to show privileges attached to that race to a level of appreciation of the privilege attached or associated with the race. So yeah, that's what this video is all about. We're gonna talk about white privilege versus black, and the following video will be black privilege versus white. So each and every race, like I said, will have a chance to acknowledge their privileges and appreciate them. All right,
Good.
good?
Good.
Should we start?
Sure.
Okay, the first privilege that is associated with white race or individual with light skin tone or light in complexion is the appearance. When it comes to appearance, we're talking about first, I am talking about first the skin color. I think it's bright, it's beautiful. I also think about the colorful eyes. You know, with the white race, individual have the option to have gray eyes, green eyes, blue, and so forth. I think the variety is quite beautiful. You know, I like it especially when the person wears like a blue t-shirt with the blue eyes. I think it pairs very nice. Or someone wear maybe a lady like a green top with green eyes that matches, is very beautiful. I think that's something that I should appreciate that. And also we have the long hair. Especially for our ladies, you know, they wear proudly the long hair. I think it's very beautiful. And yes, and also the lip color. I also like the lip color. So there's a variety. We get ladies with, for instance, with red lips. We get other ladies with pink. I think the whole appearance of a white person, let's say, or a person that is light in complexion is quite beautiful. And I think that is a privilege, because if you don't believe it's a privilege, you know, do you know the number of people who are wearing contact lenses? You know, they want to have green eyes, they want to have gray eyes, they want to have blue eyes, and they don't have it naturally. So they're spending time, for ladies for instance, buying contact lenses just so they can have your eye color, the color that you got naturally. I think if you have it, you have a colorful eyes and stuff, it is a privilege to appreciate. The hair, for instance, there's quite a number of ladies that are wearing hair extensions, spending so much money in terms of purchasing good quality hair extension, whether it's weave, whether it's wigs and so forth. So if you have your natural long hair, it is a privilege. It's something to really. And in terms of the skin tone, there's so many ladies who are going through skin whitening. You know, they bleach their skin so it can become lighter or brighter. They use chemicals that are very toxic to just bleach their skin. So if you can have that bright, that light, you know, skin tone without having to go through bleaching process, I think it's a privilege. It's something to appreciate. And if you have pink or red or whatever lips color, it's also a privilege, because there's quite a number of ladies going through permanent makeup just to have their lips to be pink or to be red. There's not just permanent makeup, there's lipstick, makeup, and so forth. So if you have natural colorful eyes, long hair, bright skin, colorful lips, I think those are privileges. Those are things that, whether you are a gentleman or a lady, that you should appreciate about your race. And I think it's part of the privilege, because other races do not have what you have, that maybe Indian people don't have, for instance, or Asian people in general don't have, or African people don't have. It's become a privilege, especially if people will go out of their way just to have what you have. They will spend so much money, so much time, but you don't have to go through those things. And I think it is a privilege, and above all, it's something that's to look forward to, appreciate, you know, to value, to care for, and to look after. So that's my opinion. Back to Tony, do you agree on the physical appearance of a white person making it as a privilege?
I think it's important to be grateful for what we have. I wouldn't judge anybody for wearing makeup or spending lots of money on hair and so on and so forth. That is their choice, and you know, you need to obviously respect that and accept it.
Yes.
And you need to know that you always don't have the right to an opinion about someone else that you don't know.
Okay. But my question was, do you agree it is a privilege or not?
A privilege.
That was my question. The physical appearance that I gave, about 3 or 4 examples. Do you agree it's a privilege?
I wouldn't say it's a privilege. I would say it's something you need to be grateful for and appreciate, and accept what you have.
So even though I went in details to explain why is it a privilege to have a light skin tone, it is a privilege to have a light skin tone because ladies are going through skin bleaching just to have that. I also explained the fact that to have long hair is naturally a privilege because ladies are stuck with hair extensions, wigs, weave, clipping, tapping, you name it. I explained it's a privilege also to have colorful eyes because ladies are stuck with contact lenses of all kinds of colors. I even went to details as to say having colorful lips is a privilege because ladies are stuck with permanent makeup. Don't even mention about lipstick, lip gloss and whatever. Tony still can't realize that the physical appearance of a white person, white lady or gentleman, as I'm trying to describe here, is a privilege. Then there's nothing I can do. We can move to the second case. The second just give me a minute. All right, the second point I would say it's about money. I don't know how many people will agree with me, but I would say white people, okay, people with light complexion, European and so forth, they have more money than blacks. This is a fact. If you even compare Europe to Africa, you will realize like, you know, Europeans have more money than African people. I just think that is a privilege, you know. If you see what people are doing, you know, African people, for instance, just to get to Europe, how they're sacrificing their lives, trying to cross the sea, selling the land, the only family wealth, you know, they have, the only land they have, just so they can make it to Europe, so they can have the money that European have, for instance, the money that a white person have, or white people that have. You know, I've seen a lot of people, also heard of a lot of people going to sell their soul. They, you know, they sell their soul. They become a devil worshipper. They are into Freemason, Illuminati, whatever you call it, just so they can have money. People go above and beyond. They make a lot of sacrifices. And if you don't have to go through all of that because you are born into a country that is developed, you are born into a society where the economy is very strong, you are born into privilege, like we always say, where you know, being fed with a silver spoon and stuff, I think it's a privilege. So the statement was, whites have more money than African people, for instance, or black people. So I think that's a privilege. Let's hear what Tony thinks.
I would agree.
Thank you, for the first time.
Purely because if you look at history, and white people took and stole a lot of land from black people.
Are you just saying that, Tony? This is being recorded.
No, well, I mean,
We better not go to jail.
It is true. I mean, you can't run away from it.
Yes, I agree with you.
If you look at, you know, Portugal was in Angola and Mozambique. You know, if you look at France, if you look at England, you know, if you look at all these countries, even America, they took other people's property and land and wealth, and they stole it, and they built from there.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, fruit from a poisonous tree, I suppose.
Yeah, it's even if you look at South Africa as we speak, the majority of people who are controlling the economy in South Africa are actually white. You know?
Yeah.
Most of black, yes, we have black also in position of power. For instance, the president and majority in government and stuff, for instance. But the majority of the population, I think whites do have more money than blacks. That's just the reality, you know. And most of black, they go for, you know, a low wage jobs, part of middle class and stuff like that. So this is a reality that is seen in so many African countries. I will agree with Tony, because colonization brought really a different, not just perspective, but also influence, you know, when it comes to African person or black person. Alright, so it is a privilege. If you are a white person, you have money, it's a privilege. You should appreciate that. That's the whole purpose of this video, that you can see your privilege and appreciate that. Okay, don't worry, the second video is about black folks to also see their privilege and also appreciate that. Alright, we can move to the third element, which is power. So I feel like whites have power, more power over black in terms of companies, leadership positions, and as well as business owners. Because I feel like most of companies, when you go even to submit your CV, or you want to buy a share, or you want partnership, or you want to, you know, franchise, whatever you want to do, you will always see, or often, not always, but often see that the head is a white person. So white owns a lot of companies. They are in position of power in many institutions, and also they own a lot of business. And we see a lot of black, for instance, you know, turning out to be the employees or the workers. So I think if you are in a position of power, if you are a business owner, if you are in a position of leadership, it doesn't matter what type of leadership it is. If you are on a company, it is a privilege, and it's something that should be appreciated. So let's ask Tony, what do you think about it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think a lot of people, the more money they have, the more power they have, and the more they can influence things to suit themselves and their pockets.
Yeah.
And they take advantage of people. They don't normally empower people that's not maybe the same race as them, or don't have the same ideas or opinions or beliefs.
Yeah.
And they sort of discriminate and just sort of sideline you. But they give you no real power. It's sort of token power sometimes, just to pretend, so they get or keep their clients and keep their contracts and tenders and so on.
Yeah, so speaking about people empowering, people in position of power, like on top empowering those at the bottom. There was a lady, Matebe, I think I always follow on TikTok, that I like so much. She made a video by saying, in the world, apparently they scale, is it they scale? Whatever. But the list goes as follow. We have, she said, we have a white man, we have a white woman, we have all other remaining, like Asian, colored, Indian, and so forth. And then we have a black woman at the bottom, which I found it was very offensive for me. And she said, the one that is on top, like first position, doesn't like to pull the one that is the bottom up. So that's probably what my text said. It's probably joining your idea, you know, in terms of those who are in top trying to empower, or the white man on top trying to actually empower the black woman which is at the bottom. But I think it's offensive because I don't see myself as being on the bottom. Am I the bottom?
You shouldn't be. You should be equal. Never mind where you are.
Am I at the bottom? It's very offensive. No, I wouldn't want to be at the bottom, but if that's how the world is listed and then you believe in it, I think the least to do is just to work hard, you know, as a black woman, for instance, to trying to pull yourself, you know, so you can get somewhere there on top. And when you get on the top, you must remember to pull those who are at the bottom also. Always, you know, promotes the race, promote the continent, African continent. It's a beautiful continent. So that's definitely join your idea, you know, people being in position of power and not trying to empower, you know, the race. Yeah. So you agree with me that
Yes.
whites have more power, like companies or leadership, business owner, compared to black. So the fourth privilege I will talk about is being advanced. So I feel like you know, Europeans or whites, for instance, or white in general, because in general then we include America, we include Australia and so forth, they are advanced when it comes to technology, science, you know, that even makes their continents, their country being developed compared to Africa, which is delayed with slavery trade, with colonization, post-colonization and so forth. So yeah, I just think like if you are a white person and you know you were born into a country that is developed, continent that is developed, that is advanced, it is a privilege to appreciate. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there are so many African or black people, for instance, are doing so much of craziness just to be in Europe, for instance, to live in Europe, you know. They're selling the land, they are traveling across the sea, many are dying, you know. There's quite a lot of craziness that is going on, and if you are born into those developed countries, I think any of them, it's a privilege to appreciate. In a developed continent where you have advanced science, advanced technology, those are your privileges to also appreciate. So yeah, what do you think about it? Whites being exposed to advanced science, technology, developed countries and continents, making them more advanced than black folks.
I'll agree with that, definitely. Because the opportunities were there for whites, really, and Europeans and everyone else, really, with a light skin. And yeah, it's sort of, you know, it comes down to, you know, they never empowered or treated people equal opportunities, equal skills, you know, development and sharing.
Yeah.
And it all comes from people, I suppose, wanted to keep their money, keep their power, and they don't want to share their skill.
Exactly. Because they want to maintain you in a position where you can always be their employee, you know, and they can always use you when they need you, they can use you for what they want you, and yeah, that suppresses any idea of trying to invest in that person or in an African or black person to get them to develop themselves as well as the country and continent where they belong. All right, so the fifth privilege is skin of privilege. I just feel like the white skin is a favored over other skin. That's even where this video idea started. So we were talking, and I told him that I went on a date with a Jewish guy. Okay. For our date, he decided that we should first go shopping, then we'll go for coffee. That was his decision. So we went for shopping into one of the shops that I used to go on my own, because that mall is close to my place. Sometimes I will go to that store, I can't find things that I'm looking for, maybe scented candles or whatever. I will ask the ladies, they will always tell me, oh babe, just go at the bottom, oh just go that side. They will just direct me, they don't really offer me full assistance. But the day when I went to with that guy, man, because of his skin of privilege, whenever I will ask, or when I asked for the assistance from the ladies, we were looking for certain scented candles. That woman, or they dropped what they were doing. Of course, black ladies, African queen. They dropped what they were doing. They came to assist us. It happened like 2 to 3 times during our shopping. Then I was shocked. Then I said, I didn't tell him, but I had to tell a friend of mine. But I could see that it was white privilege being in action, because I'm always in that store and I'm always looking for things that I don't find because the store is busy, and they don't drop everything to come and assist me. They will prefer to direct me, take left, take right. But that day, those ladies dropped. They came to assist. We found a certain candidate. They were like, "Sir, is there anything else we can assist you with?" I was shocked. I couldn't talk anymore. Then I said to myself, this is white privilege, because it's white. That's why they're dropping everything to come and assist us. But when I come alone here and then I can't find things, they don't do that to me. And Tony doesn't believe. So then we end up talking about these video privileges. So I think a white skin is a skin of privilege, especially here in South Africa. You see, with the history of you know, is it apartheid and everything, you know, blacks were kind of traumatized also mentally. You know, some grew up a little bit fearing. I've seen that at university, you know, fearing white, not in a sense, but having like a extra respect. Like me, African person or a black person, I would do something, they would just be like, oh. But when it's a white one, they're kind of shaking, trying to serve, listening to orders. But I think it's a mental thing. So I think the skin is really associated with privilege. Tony doesn't agree. And then it's not just the fact that it gets served, like Matebe said, it's perhaps on top there. It gets served, you know, above other skin. But it's also the fact, what I also like about the white skin is the fact that I find like white people are very united, you know. Very united. They help one another, they assist one another. They don't fight in the sense of taking each other down, you know, destroying the reputation and image of the race. They help one another, they are united, and they love one another. They have respect for one another. They uplift their own people, you know. They uplift even the women, you know. You will see white ladies on the cover of magazines portray perhaps the most beautiful. You know, they give a push to the rest, you know. They make sure it is the best. They make sure that it stays the best, that it should always be the best. Like they do that. When I see my people, for instance, my African people, you know, sometimes you see, when you see another black woman in the restaurant, you see a little of attitude. Black people fighting with one another, not always united, not always helping one another, not always treating each other with respect and consideration like other races. But I think if you are able to have a skin of privilege, like we said, and then it should be a privilege to appreciate. If you're able to love one another, to care for one another, to support one another, to promote your race, to promote the beauty in your race, the beauty of your women, you know, it is a privilege. These are the things that we take for granted, that we don't even see or acknowledge. But it's time, you know, that we see them, acknowledge them, and appreciate them. I don't know what Tony think about skin of privilege.
I don't know about the date, but I mean, it could be that maybe it wasn't his skin color, maybe he was just handsome.
Oh no, he's handsome, yes, he's handsome, yes, he's blonde and everything.
So you could say,
but I swear to you, it's because of his race.
Okay.
Those ladies never treated me like that. Like when I come, I will ask them, I'm looking for maybe a hair fire. They will be like, Sissy, hair fire. You go down, you go up, you go left, you go. They will never stop when they drink to come and show me where the air fryer is. But that day they dropped everything. Even though we were able to find what we were looking for, because they assisted us, they kept on asking, is there anything else we can assist you with, ma'am? I was shocked.
How did they ask you now?
I even told him, I'm like, oh, I should be dragging you all the time when I go shopping, so I can obtain privilege everywhere I go. I should be dragging him everywhere I go for shopping, so I can obtain privilege. Because apparently for myself, I can obtain privilege unless I bring a skin of privilege with me. Shame. I know that sounds funny, but you feel like that
you
sometimes.
Must take me to the same shop.
Oh, if I take you...
You must take me to the same shop just to see if they do the same, because maybe they won't see me as handsome, you see. But they should treat customers
equally.
Correct. Never mind.
I
the
agree.
sex.
They should treat customer without any discrimination.
Correct. That's correct.
But you want me to take you to that store?
I think we should do it as
so
an
I can
experiment.
obtain privilege.
Just to see if they're going to do the same.
So you don't believe it's because of
No.
his skin of privilege?
No, it's not that I don't believe it.
That I got assistance on our first date.
I think it's just, I'm not sure if it's because he's white or because he's handsome. You see, so
I bet because of it too. Like that. I bet it was a combo.
But I think you wouldn't take someone anyway that's not handsome on a date. So, but I'd like to
You
see.
think I don't date ugly guys?
Correct.
Guys, I date ugly guys. I date all races. So you can send your CV through.
You shouldn't do that. There's going to be too much.
You can send your CV through. Don't mind. I date all races. No, I'm racist. I don't date all races.
Okay.
They don't know that about me. I'm racist. I'm always honest. I'm racist. So, yeah.
Do you care to elaborate on that?
No, there's other races that I don't date. Sure, but no,
Okay.
don't worry. You can send your CV through. My PA.
Still your choice.
My PA Tony will process that. He knows the rest.
I will throw your CVs away. I'll burn them all.
That was a joke. No CV. Okay, that was a joke. Okay, let's get back to yeah, the sixth element is basically the hope and the unity, you know, that I see among the white. I think it's a privilege. Look, if you can uplift someone because they have your race, you know, and you're trying to bring the best out of them, you're trying to help and assist them and everything, I think it's a privilege. Okay?
I think so. Although we should empower everybody.
Yes, definitely.
You know,
yes.
as a boss or a leader, you have a responsibility, or a manager. You should empower people that need empowering and that are looking for it and that deserve it.
Yes,
You know, so that everybody gets equal opportunity.
yes.
And that's that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Do you have anything to say
No, that's
about all the 6 privilege?
I'd like to do that experiment though, where you take me to that shop, just to see if those ladies are going to treat me. So we'll know for sure if it's because
So
it's
you
white.
don't believe me that
No,
that
I'm
you
saying
know,
it could
I
be because he's
experience
handsome.
what you think because he's handsome?
Because he's handsome.
I also date ugly guys.
And did they get that kind of service, personal service, where they walk into the aisle and help him choose the candles for you?
I don't think because he's handsome. I think because he's
white.
Yes, I think it's because of his race.
Okay.
Believe me, I've been in that shop a few times and
I'll believe you.
they don't treat me like that. I was
Okay.
like a queen that day. I'm like,
Oh, I
wow,
see.
I must be dragging this one with them whenever I go for shopping, so they can help me whenever.
Okay, so they treated you better because you were with him.
I think so.
Okay.
You don't believe me?
No, I'm just thinking now, like, is it because he's white and maybe they thought he had lots of money?
We don't know exactly what they thought because we were not in their thoughts, but I saw the treat was different.
Okay.
Look, okay, my love, white folks, yes. I'm sure if there's anyone who was in denial like Tony about their privilege, you got to hear us share about some of the privilege, you know, that are associated with the right race. I mentioned about the physical, I mentioned about the money, I mentioned about power, being advanced or advanced technology, science and so forth. I talked about skin of privilege as well as the fact that the race is united, people helping one another with love and respect and care. I think it is really, really great. So we are at the end of this video. I don't know if Tony has anything to say.
I enjoyed. I like the fact that we're talking about the topic, and I'm hoping that we can talk and chat and share without sort of judgment and sort of prejudice and sort of get to a better place together. You know?
Yes.
And really listen to each other and respect each other.
Yes. No, I think I agree with you. That's yes. The first step, you know, in solving everything is to start with a conversation. You know, you talk about it, you address the issue if it needs to be addressed, and yes, and then you take it from there. So my love, thank you so much for listening. If you are a white person, you can acknowledge your privileges, and more importantly is to appreciate them. because we also appreciate these things within you guys. And also, if you're a black folks while you're watching me, you can also learn from, you know, the white race, the way they love, you know, each other, support each other, lift one another, promote the race, you know, promote the women's, their beauty and everything. You can do that for your race as well, whether you are a black folks, you are Indian, you are Asian, and so forth. And I think it's going to help your race as well. I will see you on my next video when I will talk about black privilege versus white, because black folks, many also think, you know, they don't have any privilege, it's only white, which is not true. Each and every single race have privileges. They have good things about themselves and good things about that race that need to be appreciated, that need to be promoted. So in our next video, I'm gonna talk about black privilege, because I want black folks to see their privileges and to start appreciating them as well. So I'll see you on that video. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nicole and this is Tony. Thank you, Tony, for joining me for an interesting video. I really appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
Your input and the laughter that we had, especially when we tackle my love life and the fact that I'm racist, so I don't date all race, and I'm so honest about it. And yeah,
I can appreciate that.
I'm not racist. Oh, I'm just partially racist.
Okay. Well, thank you for your honesty.
Yes, at least I'm honest. Alright, I'm Nicole and I'll see you on my next upload. Thank you for those who like this video, those who will subscribe, who will comment and share. I really appreciate, and those who will watch this video from the app to give this video watch time. I would really appreciate your input, and for those who have already supporting this channel, I really appreciate with your subscription and support. And yeah, so I'll see you. Bye my loves, bye my darling. I love you so much and see you. Bye.
Bye bye.
You don't smile. Bye my love, bye my darling. See you on my next upload.
Star of the show.
Right?
You're the star of the show.
Am I the star of the show?
That's correct, you are.
I thought Tony's the star of the show.
No, I'm just the sidekick.
You with your skin of privilege.
Yes, just the sidekick.
Bye.